Uh, we will start the discussions on this pre-decathlon tonight. First, I would like to welcome all the panelists and the attendees to this video discussions. Of course, I need to introduce the panelists of tonight. I think none other than Mr. Sheldon of USA. Everybody knows that he is our past world president for 1996 and 1997. And he also held his own company in Chicago. Welcome, Sheldon, to this group discussions.
What's that? What did you say?
Yes, welcome you to this discussion group.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. Nice to be included.
Yeah, I think you are in the afternoon, is it?
I hope so.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, the next speaker is from Brazil, the Piaxi president of Brazil, Mr. José, Romeu, Ferraz, and Neto. He is a new president of FIABCI-Brasil. Welcome, José.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure to be with you this morning.
Okay, welcome. And the next is Mr. Michael Hemming of Germany. He is the president of Germany, and he also the newly elected regional president of FIABCI Europe region, as well as a new FIABCI board member. Welcome, Hemming.
Thank you, Kee Su, and warm welcome to everybody. And I'm very glad to join this panel. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. I think today we are discussing on this pre-decathlon. Sheldon Good is the pioneer of this pre-decathlon, and the pre-decathlon is one of the most important assets for FIABCI SF today. The pre-decathlon was started in 1992 by two gentlemen. One is Mr. Luis Carlos of Brazil, and of course our Sheldon Good in 1992. Both of them have started this pre-decathlon to recognize the importance of the real estate in the world. And for today's discussions, we will divide into three sections. Number one is the introductions, and number two is a discussion, and after that is question and answer. And of course, I think to begin with these discussions, I would like to invite Mr. Sheldon Gooks to talk on the pre-decathlon, how and why he and Mr. Carlos start the pre-decathlon about 30 years ago. Mr. Sheldon?
Well, my relationship with Luis Carlos started when he was being elected. He had been elected the world president, and the World Congress was in Chicago, and I was chairman, and he was elected here. So he used to come to Chicago prior to the event to make sure that the events that were going on were being properly managed and properly organized. So he spent a lot of time here with me and with the committee, and we got to be very friendly. And the pre-decathlons, afterwards he had at a convention, he told me that he had just come from Kuala Lumpur, and he said that they have a pre-decathlons award program where they award local projects as the best property in their community, the best in the world. And I didn't think too much of it, but he said to me, and I know that FIABCI was working on this program, and he said to me, he said, I just came back from Kuala Lumpur. He says, and they had their annual pre-decathlons award, He says, "You've never seen anything like this." He said, "There must have been 600 or 700 people at the event. The king of Malaysia was there." He said, "I was wined and dined. What I saw, what they're doing is just spectacular. And it's very, very business oriented." He said, "You have to go and see it," which of course I did. Now, then I was elected president, the world president. I was invited, and I went to Kuala Lumpur, and very, very impressed with the real estate operations there and the people that were doing business. A number of them were FIABCI members. And if I get to talk too fast, and I'm not, slow me down. And the truth of the matter was that the Prix d'Excellence was just a winning score. And they had set up that night at the dinner, they set up a receiving line, and the local president of FIABCI was there, and then some of the officers, and then me as the world president. In walks the king and his wife. And the king was about 6'4" or 6'5", a big guy. And he walked in, and he went to each person, and I was the third one. So and my wife was standing next to me. So he stood next to us and looked at me. He said, "Oh, you're the American." I said, "Yes, I am." He says, "Do you know who I am?" I said, "Yes, I do." He says, "I'm the king of Malaysia." I says, "Don't get excited. I'm the president of the world." He really took it very well and laughed, and everybody else laughed too. Now we go to sit down, and we're sitting at a round table, and there must have been 100 tables. There was so many people. It was just unreal. And a band and music and all that, and they were using soy sauce. And they had a big bowl of soy sauce in the middle of this table set up for 10. And my wife kicked the table by mistake, and all the soy sauce spilled out onto the tablecloth and just spread like an illness. So it was a tough start. Anyhow, the truth of the matter is, you have to look at the operation of FIABCI from a big view. The idea with FIABCI is to be able to do more business. Now, I remember the first time that I went to a FIABCI meeting, and I was very impressed with it. There was a man there who was promoting international business, and it was really John Tyson was his name, and he looked like he spoke with an English accent, very strong, from England. And he talked about, buy a castle in Spain. There's a lot of people that want to buy and sell. And he talked on about doing business on a worldwide basis. Now, I was doing commercial business in Chicago and doing a very big job of it. And I was interested in what he was talking about. Now, I have a thing about going to meetings. I don't ever go to a second meeting, if I don't learn anything at the first one. So all the things that I've done with FIABCI and for FIABCI, had to be good for me too. If I didn't learn something, if I didn't learn how to, whatever it was I wanted to learn, and see that there was some benefit in my being involved, I didn't want to do it. Now they were plugging this thing. The officers were so excited about the Prix d'Excellence, and I really didn't think much of it. And the first two winners, as I recall, and I could be wrong, were a house in some foreign country, and they opened the first restaurant, hamburger restaurant in Russia. So when I saw this, how do you tell the world that a hamburger stand is the best property in the world? And how do you tell them that this little house that was a 2-bedroom house is the best house in the world? And then you, Yuki, or
yes.
your associate said,
yes.
Shelley, it's owned by it's in a communist country. Do you know what they go through to do it? He said they had to buy every single thing that was used in that building to build that restaurant. Had to be local equipment, everything local. you know, imagine this is just shortly after. I can't even tell you when it was. But no electric, no water. It took them like 5 years to build this thing, and it exposed the people to the use of real estate, and the government working together, and that started it. And then the Prix, we started to use it. I used it as a source of meeting people that I couldn't meet otherwise. Here, I'll talk to you. I'd like to talk to you about having your property picked as the best in the world. Well, you know, they didn't want to talk to salesmen. They didn't want to talk to brokers, the builders and developers and owners. Most owners didn't want to be bothered. But when I started to talk about being picked as the best property in the world, they were excited to hear about it. And that's what happened. That's how it started with me. I then went to, let me just take a look. I went oh, excuse me for taking time doing this now. I read in a paper that the Guggenheim Museum had just been opened in Bilbao, Spain. So my wife and I went to Spain, to Bilbao. I wrote a letter to the owners or the managers of the museum. It was an art museum, and I told them I introduced myself and the organization, and I sent some of our political stuff, some of our marketing stuff from FIABCI, and said, I'd like to come and talk to you about just submitting your property for being selected as one of the best in the world. And they were wide open for it. So Frank Gehry was a new architect on the market, one of the leading architects of the world, and he had designed this building. So we flew to Bilbao, and I met with them, and they won the award. They won the award. Well, you can't imagine how important it was to them. Now, what was it for me? I got pictures of me with the Art Institute person. I got a picture with that Frank Gehry. Everything I got it exposed to Sheldon Good is a meeting picking the best properties in the world. Now, what do you think? How do you think that helped me back here in Chicago? Every one of these builders in Chicago wanted to have their buildings as the best building in the world. So that fed on now. Understand, the membership in FIABCI, what is the purpose for it, and what is the purpose for your going to it? Now you're got different needs, different interests. I'm a real estate salesman, and when I look out, I'm sitting now looking, and my apartment is on the 74th floor of a high-rise in Chicago, and I'm downtown. I'm looking out of my window right now, and I'm looking at so many buildings. And you know what I say in the morning when I get up? Boy, oh boy, I own 6% of every building I'm looking at. All I got to do is meet the owner to sell it. Now, the real question for me was, how was I going to sell it? How was I going to meet the owner? Okay, and FIABCI opened the door to do it. When I talked to him about having the best property in the world, well, he was very interested in that. So that's how it got started. It kept going on and on and on. And I was just impressed with how it worked. It was difficult, but not really. Now, so then what happened is I ended up being the chair, and I was so enthusiastic about it that I started going all over to run these events. And all the properties that I submitted won because I was the only one submitting properties. And Yuki, I don't know if you were then working with me then, but I don't remember all of that. So it got to a point where nobody wanted to submit a property because I won anyway. But to give you an idea, we had a garbage dump about 20 minutes out of Chicago. A terrible, and the smell was awful. So I had heard it was for sale, and I talked to the local government. They didn't want to sell it, so instead they built a 2 championship golf courses where the garbage dump was, right off this expressway. So it made like a big park there. And we gave them the award of the year. They got the Prix d'Excellence award of the year. And of course, I wrote a letter to them. They built a clubhouse, and my letter to them is on Sheldon Good Stationery. And I'm so glad to have participated in getting you the award of winning the award for the best property in the world. You know, and it's still up, it's still on the wall in their locker room, in the men's locker room, from Sheldon Good. Okay, FIABCI, talk about FIABCI and the award, and it's on the wall. Now the next one got involved in Chicago. Now I'm telling you these stories because you can see why I spend all that time doing it, and I suspect the rest of you that are in business are doing it. Your activities are to build business for your companies and for yourself, and to make profits and to provide a better service to the public. So the next one was the University of Illinois, when the war was over, World War II, opened a branch. They have a big school in Champaign-Urbana, Southern Illinois. And they opened a Navy pier, which used to be a receiving room during the war for shipping of war goods and stuff through the Great Lakes. The school decided to leave. So after the war, the university had all these GIs coming back on free scholarships to go to college, and they took Navy Pier, was given to them to be the school here in Chicago. So they didn't have to move out of Chicago and pay for housing in a strange city. And they could only accommodate 2,500 students. So they decided to move. This is now 30, 40 years later. They decided to move to another suburb that had space and build a new University of Chicago branch for the University of Illinois. Now the mayor heard about it. Our very active Mayor Daley, who, by the way, when we had a convention here, stood for 4 hours and took pictures with our members. He wanted the University of Illinois to be in Chicago. So when he heard they're going to move to a suburban area, he got goofy over it and said, I want that school in Chicago. Now I was very much involved with the University of Illinois, where I went to school. And by the way, I have a degree in urban land economics. I have a college education in how to sell real estate. So anyhow, so the mayor went to the university and with me, he said, I want to go talk to the president. And he said, I want you to stay in Chicago. He said, we need 100 acres. There's no way we can get 100 acres downtown or anywhere where we can be in the city. He says, give me 2 weeks and I'll get back to you. He came back. He says, I want you. Now we had some slum areas near downtown Chicago, which were very unattractive. He said, I want you to buy the property from here to here and from there to there. And what you can't buy, I'll foreclose and take it over for you. And it was 100 acres. And they built that university. Now, when we pick a winner for FIABCI, a lot of it has to do with the complications of building the project. That's also one of the things that's very important, just like it was because of the problems they had with the communists, you know, having to deal with the government. And booming success. I've had. The next one was another college. Another one was another museum. Another one was all kinds of different an office park. We had it never stopped. Now I stopped doing it, being so involved. But I want to show you this. I also got the Wall Street Journal to be a sponsor. I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to put it up here. Can you see this?
Yes.
Can you see what
Yes, we can see it.
What the headline is? That's the Wall Street Journal. This article was in every Wall Street Journal throughout the world. Sheldon Good. Now that's what the Prix d'Excellence did for me. and for my efforts that I did with that. Now, this was in every newspaper, the Wall Street Journal, throughout the world. Okay, Sheldon good. So yes, it was good for FIABCI, and it was good for me, and that's the way I've conducted my business. I know that people do business with people that they know, that they like, that they think can help them solve a problem. So I have to get and meet those people, so I do business with them. And that's the way I did it in my out activities. Now, it's the same thing. That's where I think it is today. I think that FIABCI, in order to get activities for the Prix, now one more step. I took a Prix d'Excellence and I made it as an award in a different area. The Chicago Association of Realtors we changed the name from the Prix d'Excellence. We called it the Prix d'Excellence, but we changed the name in English to the Hall of Fame. Every year we pick one of our leading real estate operators and we give him an award. At a dinner that we have as an installation every year. We get about 500 people at that. Trump was the speaker there, I might add. I sold the Trump Towers to the Palm Beaches for Donald Trump before he was president. And people would go to these events. And when we gave them the award, what they had to do is they had to give a 20-minute speech on how they made it. The idea that I've had with all of the activities that I do are to build an opportunity for the people that are involved in giving their time and effort and money, is to learn something that they could help them make money in our business. Now that's what drew me to FIABCI to start with. I went to an NAR, the National Association. I was very active at the National Association of Realtors, and just as another headline, you've heard of the CCIMs, the Commercial Investment Division of the National Association of Realtors. I was one of the founders of that and the first national president of the Commercial Division of the National Association of Realtors. So there's the idea here is to associate with those organizations that help me or help whoever the person is to do more business, to do better business, to be able to perform better for their customers, and they'll do business. My first trip to a FIABCI Congress, this is a cute one, was in Paris. And I can't remember the date, but when I went, I took a picture in front of the Eiffel Tower and I made a flyer. I have some of them, but I can't give them to everybody. But it was a picture of me standing in front of the Eiffel Tower with a briefcase, and the headline was on a 8x11 piece of paper, Sheldon Good selling the Eiffel Tower in Paris, France. Says no, he's there meeting other professional real estate or other real estate professionals that are interested in buying properties, buying your property in downtown Chicago, but you haven't listed it with them yet to sell it. And I mailed 1,700 of those to people. Now, also, was very friendly with the press, with the real estate section of the Chicago Tribune, of the Chicago Sun-Times, of the Wall Street Journal. I got the Wall Street Journal to be our, as you know, Yuki, to be our sponsor. So and that was a big deal for us and for the program. And then we just lost them. But so that's how it works. That's how it works. You want to do business, you got to meet the people you're going to do business with, and they've got to know you. And I do it through FIABCI. I do it all through FIABCI. And I'm not embarrassed at all to say, hey, I went to FIABCI to learn how to. And I learned. I sat next to a man was the fifth or sixth world president of FIABCI from Japan. He was the senior vice president, no, senior executive officer of the largest real estate corporation in the world. Hajima Suboi, and was the last of whatever they call the wrestlers, you know, the warriors. And he was the last living warrior. He was a man about 90 years old. Came to Chicago and ended up being my close friend. Now, where could I meet somebody like that? Where could you meet somebody like that? It's not easy. So you've got to expose yourself. You've got to find situations that are going to help you. And I looked for FIABCI to do it for me. But I'm also at the University of Illinois, looking to meet people there. I mean, I'm a man on the street, you know. So all of us have different goals and different ideas in mind. I think the Prix is a great tool for us to do business. I think it's the kind of a meeting that at our meetings, our people ought to be learning how to do this, how to do that, how to sell the seller successfully, and how to sell the buyer. So I don't want to forget why we're in business, and I never did, and I never have. That doesn't mean I can't be a do-gooder for the organization. That doesn't mean that the people on the other end don't benefit from my activities along with me, and they do. I mean, I'm involved with the charities. We had that Congress here in Chicago. We marched. The mayor had a marching band on horseback from the Conrad Hilton Hotel to the Symphony Hall, which was about 2 blocks, and with a marching band on a Sunday morning. FIABCI is in Chicago. I mean, it was terrific. Now, what does that do? And Sheldon Good was leading the parade. Now, anyone reading the paper that day or anyone watching television saw Sheldon Good. Now, what are they going to say? Hey, if I'm going to sell my property, this guy, and if his competition does that, then there is no competition, really. There's enough business for everybody. But they see that if my competition, what they think is my competition, is using me as their leader. I was president of Chicago Association of Realtors also. It's just interesting. I watch, in training my own salesmen, I watch the people that catch on to what I'm talking about. There's nothing wrong with doing good things to get your name exposed, to do good business. And FIABCI's Prix d'Excellence is one way to do it, being involved to do it. Now, when we picked a winner in Chicago, I would arrange for a luncheon and invite his competition, the other builders, for a luncheon to celebrate one of our real estate leaders winning a worldwide award. And that gave me an opportunity to meet the rest of them. So it sounds, I'm talking me, but that's what we're in business for, is me. And you are for I hope you are for you. So I'm very willing to talk about it. I speak all over the United States at universities about career opportunities in real estate. I got into the real estate business really by accident. I got married my senior year in college, and I was walking to registration my senior year, and I was wringing my hands. I'm a real estate major, and I don't have a job. Oh no, I'm not a real estate major. I was a junior year. I'm going into my junior year, and I'm just got to pick a major what I'm going to study, and I don't know, and I'm getting married, and I don't have any money. What am I going to do? And I walked in. There's a sign on the wall. It says, if your registration, if you ever plan to own your own home, take a course in principles of real estate. And that's what I did. I figured I'd try that. I didn't want to sell shoes. So that's how I got into the real estate business to start. And then I went into the military while I was in the military, and we had speakers come down. We would have speakers come down and talk to the students about career opportunities in real estate. People that owned real estate companies all over. And one thing led to another, another thing led to another. And then I had to write a term paper. I tell this because you're from other countries, and it'd be interesting. And there was a developer, a very active developer, and we had done case studies on this guy. He bought hotels and all kinds of. We used to read about deals and to see if they would come and speak about them, so we would learn about them. And it was a genius deal that he did. I had to write him a term paper. So I called him on the phone and said, I'd like to meet you and talk to you about that deal. And he said, why? I says, I'm a real estate student at the University of Illinois. He said, what do you mean a real estate student? I said, I'm going to school to learn how to sell real estate, to get a real estate program. I cover all the stuff, mortgage banking, appraisals, property management, brokerage, of course. And he said, you mean to tell me you can go to college now to learn how to sell real estate? It's amazing. So he lived in New York, and he invited me. Now, what he had done is, I can't get into the deal because it takes too long. He brought Europe to America. He was the guy that owned the ground where the UN is today. And everyone thinks that the governor did it, but he was the one that did it. And sometime at a FIABCI meeting, I'll tell the story because it's a great real estate story. And I had him speak at a UN banquet. He's gone bankrupt 3 or 4 times. He's dead now. But I had him at a CCIM banquet, and he had already gone bankrupt. And I called him and said, the meeting was in Washington, and he lived in New York. I said, I'd like to have you give a speech at the National Association of Realtors Convention, the CCIMs. Would you do it? He said, I'd love to. And I had him come to Washington, and he was a god in the business. And so I had one of our guys go to pick him up in New York. He had a reputation for not showing up. So I had a guy go pick him up, and they were coming to Washington. So we had a luncheon. This was a luncheon meeting, a business meeting. And it started at a cocktail hour from 11 to 12:15, and then the luncheon started, and then you had dessert and the speaker. Well, they picked him up in the morning, so I sent someone to pick him up because I was afraid he wouldn't come. And the guy called me on the phone, Shelly, I'm at so-and-so's office, I'm picking him up. Shelly, I'm in the car, we're on the way to the airport. Shelly, so only a 45-minute flight from New York. Shelly, we're at the airport getting on the plane. Shelly, now it's 11:30 and he's not there yet. He's got to speak in about 6 minutes. So my guy kept calling me. He said, Shelly, I'm in the lobby. He says the son of a bitch wants to go upstairs and freshen up a bit. I says, grab him by the tie and bring him down here. Because word was going around when the advertising went out. We usually got about 75 or 100 people at this luncheon. When they heard that he was the speaker, it went up to 250 people. We had to use the grand ballroom for this luncheon. So now he walks in the room, and I grabbed the microphone, and they're starting to say that Sheldon Good just wanted to have a successful luncheon, so he said he was having this guy speak, but Zeckendorf isn't coming. So in walked Zeckendorf, and when I saw him walking in, now this is a guy that had been bankrupt now for about 8 or 10 years. Now, so he walks in, and I said, how about a hand for Bill Zeckendorf? And they all look down and they see him. And the applause started. I tell you, I almost started to cry because I couldn't stop him from applauding him. This guy that had gone bankrupt. And he got up to the podium and he said, thank you so much. He says, it's nice to see that my friends still love me. In fact, it reminds me of the time that I asked my girlfriend, and he was married. He didn't tell us if it was when he was single or married. When I asked my girlfriend if she loved me, and she said she did. I said, would you still love me if I lost all my money? She said, Bill, I sure would. I'd love you a lot, and I'd miss you a lot. Well, that was, he said, so I'm glad to see you still love me. And he put on a program that was great. So there's so many things involved with why I think that the Prix is another avenue for a good salesman. Remember, the activity, you present the information, and I've got to find out a way to use it that can help me, or I shouldn't be there. And I used FIABCI to the moon. You know, anytime I went to them, I used to tell our people, you know, I set up that day at the UN, a day at the UN. You know, I would take a picture with whoever was there. Sheldon Good speaks at the United Nations. Now, what do you think that doesn't? People read that in the Chicago Tribune. Why is Sheldon Good a real estate guy? I've got a sign here. Let me just, the auction, a new twist in real estate. This is the front page of the Chicago Tribune, and Sheldon Good is best at it. So I can do all the bragging I want and show the Chicago Tribune and say they say so too. So every property I took for sale had a sign on it, Sheldon Good & Company. So this is another tool for people to do business. But they have to know how to use it. They have to know how to use it. And that's why I plug it. That's why I thought it would be so successful. And Luis Carlos and we both were really hot on it because he saw the same thing. He saw the same thing. We talked about, and he was a builder. He was building them. But what went on at Yuki at your events were spectacular. It was better than I ever thought it could be, and it should be today. Now the question is, how do we, as leaders and we're here today, I think, because we were leaders, or we are leaders, or we are involved with FIABCI's use of the Prix d'Excellence, how we can use it so that it doesn't bankrupt. It's really nice. It's good for everybody else, but how do we come out? How does the organization have it continue to work? And I think that the goal should be that when someone comes to a meeting, we should have something that they leave with that helps them to be able to do more business. Now, it's very important that your time is not wasted. That your time is, the only thing that you can't change is the time of your life. That's all marked up. So you better spend all the time you can. Don't waste any time, because you can't buy any more. And you want to do things that are productive. And of course, we're in a business that we don't actually control the business all the time, because the interest rates and economy and all kinds of things influence the interest of buying and selling real estate and owning real estate or investing in real estate. And that's our business. And we have to be able to perform in a manner that we're providing services that help our members. We want to teach our members how to be better salesmen, how to provide. We even would have at a convention here in Chicago, at a local convention, I got a psychiatrist to come, and we had a program for wives so they could learn how to support their husbands' careers. And a psychiatrist would come and talk about the efforts and the things that went on in our business, which is a win-lose business. We probably lose half the deals that we make, or we try. But so that's my story, and I think that I've told it everywhere I go when people ask me about it. You got to get out and meet the people. And I still say, I look out the window, and I'm not selling real estate today. I'm not doing that anymore. But I look out the window and I say, oh boy, I own 6% of everything I see. And that's the way it is for all of you. You walk out of your front door, and I don't know that you're selling or what you're doing in business, but it's the same for you. And your people, the people that you work for, and our organization should be providing information that helps them perform in their profession of selling and marketing or whatever they do in real estate. That's the end of mine. I hope I've helped you.
Okay. Thank you, Sheldon Good, for enlightening us on the long history of this World Prix d'Excellence Awards. And we appreciate very much of what you have contributed to this World Prix d'Excellence. And the World Prix d'Excellence actually was started in 1992, and until today, we have about 20 chapters already have their own chapters award. And the new coming will be Georgia, hopefully in 2020, and Italy also hopefully in 2020. And Mr. Joe of Brazil I know that Brazil is one of the earliest chapter that started the Prix d'Excellence, which was in 1995. So may I ask, what is your perspective on the World Prix d'Excellence Award, and how did your chapter perform, and how has it evolved until today? Mr. Joe?
Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here and to listen all these great stories from Mr. Good. Thank you so much for your class. And in fact, the World Prix is considered one of the most prestigious international awards in the real estate industry. So being the recipient of the World Prix means that the project meets the highest global standards and the company is moving in the right direction. About our national Prix in Brazil, it calls Master Real Estate Award. And in fact, it was created in 1994 by FIABCI Brasil, together with principal member Secovi, and was inspired by the concepts and criteria of the Prix d'Excellence. Currently in Brazil, the Master Real Estate Award is recognized as the highest award in the industry. It's a tribute that the real estate industry pays to its top performers and to the highest levels of architecture, engineering, construction, urban development, management, sales, marketing, among other segments. So nowadays, it's very, very important to have one master real estate in your company. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much for enlightening us. And now we go to Mr. Hemming of Germany, which joined us in 2014, which was the first Prix d'Excellence Award in Germany. So what is your perspective on the World Prix d'Excellence Award, and how did your chapter perform it, and how has it evolved until today? Mr. Hemming? Yeah, your microphone was mute. Your microphone was mute, Mr. Hemming.
Now,
okay.
Now it's online. Okay, thank you, Kee Su. Yes, we start in 2014. It was our first Prix d'Excellence, and we started it together with the BFW, which is principal member of FIABCI Germany, and together we bring this Prix to start it. And now we have our gala is every time with about 250 international guests, and Germany wins several times gold and silver in the World Prix. So the Prix is a big opportunity for the developers. It brings the project first to the country and then to the world, if it is good. And so the project, the development is in another level, and it's a big honor to be on stage for the developers, and this brings them an international reputation, and the developer shows, yes, he is a top developer. And if you show is that you are a top developer, yes, then you get the next business, you get the next contract, and so it's all about business at the end, and all about also the international business, and it's a big reputation, I said. And so the Prix is very important for Germany, for the developer, and also for the complete economy. Okay. Your microphone.
Yes, thank you. In your opinion, what is the main value proposition of the award in Germany?
It's local. It's bringing, you must see two sides. One side is from the perspective of the developer, and it shows that the developer is a good developer, he is making a good business and brings him to the next level with his business. On the other side, it is for FIABCI a very big honor to see that our developers are so successful, and it shows the connection between FIABCI and the industry. And so it's a light tower. It's a big thing to the economy and to FIABCI. And so many people see, oh yes, FIABCI is a business network, and so they also want to join FIABCI to be part of this business network, and to get also the connection with these developers and with other business people. So if you have a gala with 250 guests, it's a big networking party, and we had a lot of fun at the gala. It's every time very fine. So you are all invited to come to Germany. The next gala is at the 13th of November, and hope that it all take place with Corona, but we are very hopeful that it will take place. And so 13th of November, you're all invited to make a big gala in Berlin.
Okay, thank you for your invitation. Hopefully we will attend. In case the coronavirus is still on, which we still are not allowed to travel internationally, then we will not make it. Okay, now I back to Mr. Joe on the same question. In your opinion, what is the main value proposition of the award, especially in the Brazil?
Yeah, I agree with Michael, and I believe that the main value is to recognize new and great talents, and it's to disseminate innovative concepts and successful experience that can set all the market for the development of the sector activities. So when you win the award, I think that your project, it's gonna be something that people will follow, and so that's why I think it's very important.
Oh, okay. So what doors do you believe the awards open to a winning project, especially the company that participated in the award?
This is for me? Okay, good.
Yes.
So winning the Master Real Estate Award means that the winning project has the qualities to be considered as a reference for future projects. So it deserves to be studied and replicated. Brazil is a very large country, and especially its underdeveloped regions seek for our winning projects to serve as models. We have been seeing this kind of things very often in Brazil. When one project win the Master Real Estate, you can see month later or in a very short period of time that this project is copied in other part of the Brazil, especially in the north, northeast, and the south. So that I think that is the door that the winning projects open. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are these winning projects, they are willing and they are keen to participate in the World Prix d'Aislon?
Yeah. The Master Real Estate Award has a jury of the highest level. The members are the representatives of different professional categories such as engineers, architects, academics, etc. And the president of the jury is the president of KPMG, one of the largest auditing companies in the world, especially in Brazil. Therefore, winning the Master Award has a profound impact on the company's credibility and national level. So that's why that is the impact that I think the award represents to the company.
Yeah, we hope to see more projects from Brazil to participate in the World Prix d'Aislon Award.
Yeah, we have until now we've already have 17 Brazilian projects winning the Prix d'Excellence. And I believe that you have more in the few years. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Very good. Okay, now we go back to Mr. Hemming. The same question: what doors do you believe the awards open to winning projects? Yes, Hemming.
First, I want to say,
yes,
it's we are very proud that our winners also win gold and silver on the World Prix, because you must believe in Germany, development is a lot different than in the rest of the world. We are a small country. We have not the space you have in other countries, for example. And we have a lot of rules. And if you want to make a new project, you have, for example, on the right side of the building, on the left side of the building, and in the middle, you must fit your new development in. And so it's very difficult to make a development and also to adapt it to the rules we have in Germany. And so we are very proud that our developers with these restrictions win on the World Prix, because I think in other countries it's much easier to make a development than in such a small country than Germany is. And so it shows again how important it is to bring your business on this stage and to participate and to connect and see, okay, this developer is so good, he makes this great project, this great development, and so he is the next businessman for the next part. And FIABCI is participating on it. And so also it's very important, we are working together with the BFW, our principal, one of our principal members in Germany, and they have a great connection to the developers in Germany. And they ask them and they bring them then to the Prix and connect them with the other business. And so it's a great challenge. And I think it's important for every nation to also establish a Prix in the nation and to connect and to look forward with it.
Okay, but we still hope that there will be more Germany project to take part in the World Prix d'Excellence Awards.
Yes, we have a lot of projects which are also taking part at the World Prix, and every year we send our projects, our gold winners and the several sections to the World Prix, and every year we take one of the awards.
Yeah, we appreciate what you have done. And then what impact do you think that having won an award may have on the one's company and for FIABCI local chapter and also the country?
It shows that FIABCI is well connected in the industry, and that FIABCI helps other participants in the market to bring their projects and their business to the local, to the countrywide, and also to the world. And so it's a win-win situation. The developer wins, and also FIABCI wins with it. And so on this connection, we also win new members. If we can show them, yes, we are in the business, we are part of the business, we are head of the business, and bring everything, the developer and FIABCI, to the next level with something like it.
Okay, thank you. Back to Mr. Joe, the same question. What impact do you think having won an award may have on the projects, one's company and the local chapter as well as the country?
No, that's exactly the same. I think that is a win-win situation, and everybody win with this. And for the market, the new projects, the company, and the FIABCI, of course, because he is the instrument to get this. And so this is very, very important. As I said, in Brazil, the win a master is a desire for every company. So we have been every year more and more projects to be considered to win this great award.
Okay. We go back to Sheldon Goods. Sheldon, I would like to ask you about this, the relationship between the Piaxi Awards and the artists at the early year. Mr. Sheldon? Yeah, your microphone is mute.
Yeah, I think that the relationship was always a good relationship. It was a learning experience, what we were doing, and we didn't know for sure how to do it. I was a judge for a number of years, and they used to bawl me out because I made everybody a winner. Yeah, I liked all the developments that I would see. But again, I go back to saying that for me, the purpose of the Prix was to recognize those people that did well. You're right, who did well and made the world a better place to live, work, and play through the use of real estate. I mean, that's the whole thing. We are rewarding those people that make the world a better place to live, to work, or to play through the use of real estate. Everybody can't be great. And many of these people do a great job, So we're judging them. And the truth of the matter is, I think that you, Kee Su, would say that Sheldon Good likes all the buildings. And I did. But you could tell, we would have all kinds of problems. Even in Chicago, they build an apartment building with 300 apartments and no playgrounds for the kids. So what happens? The kids play in the elevators, and they get hurt or something happens, and a problem. So you do get to be an authority on the quality of the real estate being built, and I think that our job is to reward those people that perform. That really perform. And I think that you go out and you look at buildings and you look at properties and you learn, you too learn as to what's good and what's not so good. And I think, but I don't think there's anything wrong with doing it for you to be able to meet someone that you're gonna be able to do business with. I think you have to remember why you're there. We're there we're there to applaud somebody that has done a good job. And because he did a good job, maybe I can use his good job for me to be told that I did a good job in picking a good winner. And therefore I'm a good person to be doing business with. So I don't know. I know that my people here in Illinois, when I would approach them for a submission, they were terrific. The properties that I gave them were terrific properties. They should have been gotten the award when they did, and I was very satisfied in that I was helping them, and that I was helping FIABCI, and that I was helping me, and I was helping my future customer to be, and that was why I did what. And that's why I do it. That's why I do it. It is interesting from a professional point of view to see the differences in the quality of construction, in the service of the difference between some office buildings and other office buildings. And you look at the residential buildings and you see hotels, and we're in the business, so it is an interest to see these things in addition to what it does. But in my head, I still go back to the thought: what do we do? What does it do for FIABCI? And what does it do for FIABCI? It's cost a lot of money. How is FIABCI going to benefit by picking these people as winners? What is the entry fee today? I don't remember. Is it $1,000?
$1,002 for members.
1,200.
Euro, in euro.
Oh, euro?
Yes.
1,000 euros. And how many are we getting a year? How many applicants are we getting a year? I guess.
You mean the total applicants for this year was 69?
Okay, what's the most we've ever had?
Pardon?
What's the most we've ever had? How many are the most we've ever had? Have we had 100? Have we had 50?
Oh, the most we ever had is about 78.
78.
Yes.
And do you think that we should have more? Are there more than 78 properties that should be recognized? Do you think in the world?
Yes, because we currently have 20 chapters that are having their national award, and then we will have addition of Georgia and Italy hopefully in this year, and that means we have 22 countries that are having their national award. But not all the countries are organized every year, so not many participants from some of the country as well. That's why we hopefully more chapters will organize a national award.
Yeah, I know that that we're doing the same thing for people. The same thing you're doing, recognizing a building. We recognize a person, and it comes out of the Prix d'Excellence. In other words, we go out, we pick somebody that we think is an outstanding person that made the world a better place to live, work, or play through the use of real estate. He may not be a builder. He's a salesman. Yes. It makes it marketable. Things like that. But you can measure the success and the benefit to our organization by doing it. I look at FIABCI. I want FIABCI to continue as long as it can. I put in some 30 years to FIABCI. I don't want it to fail because we're giving awards to people that maybe they do appreciate it, but it doesn't do any good for the organization. I think that we should be thinking in terms of what can we do when someone wins that award or someone is asked to apply. There is a benefit in his winning, isn't there, for business? Good for business, isn't it, if he wins? Does anybody, I would think it's very good for him. It's very good for him. And in the beginning, when you go to ask someone to apply their property, the first thing they say is, what will it cost? And why should I? I mean, that's the experience I had. Why should I do it? And of course, I get plenty of reasons why they should do it. But then I think to myself, and you, Kee Su, have all of you been a judge? Have any of you been a judge? Anyone in the audience been a judge? Answer me. No, nobody's been a judge. Well, if you're a judge, I'm telling you, it's a job. It's a real job. It's a 60-page package. You got to go look at the property. You got to meet with the owner. It's a real judge. We're really giving this guy an award. And what is he giving us back? And I'm not saying we should charge him for anything. I'm not saying that at all. But we, our bunch right now, should be thinking about what can we do to make it more beneficial for us to do a better job picking them and giving the award. I would have, if it was a Chicago guy, I would have a luncheon because I wanted the other guys to make applications. And I would have a luncheon honoring them. But after a while, I got tired of being the only one doing it, really. And, you and I you, Kee, have worked together, but most of my work was with your associate. He went through the beginning years really in depth, as I did. So when something went wrong, I could talk to him about it, or he would tell me there's something going on wrong. And sometimes it was us. It was FIABCI that was not promoting it enough, or not doing enough, or not doing a good job at the event when we gave the award, and a number of things that could have made it better. But in the meantime, those all cost us money, and we didn't get any money from it. We don't get any kind of a reward from the guy he doesn't even join. He doesn't even join FIABCI. You'd think he joined FIABCI. but they don't even join. So I think we got a double play. I think picking someone and making him the best in the world is a pretty good gift. And the question is, how can we use it to be a benefit to FIABCI so that we can continue doing it and we can benefit from it. I worry about it. And I think that I think the organization does too, about being able to continue to do it forever. I mean, you just can't provide all the material and all the paper and all that stuff. We're not making any money when you pay $1,200 for an entry. If you ask them for any more, I think it would be too much because I don't think they would do it. When I changed using the same principle of the Prix d'Excellence for the Hall of Fame, we got that person to give us a $25,000 contribution to a foundation that we set up, a charitable foundation that we use to contribute to policemen that get killed in the line of duty or firemen that get killed in the line of duty. One of our people shows up at the widow's home with a check for $50,000 to pay for the funeral and to carry her until he gets his government money. So we do the same thing in a little different way, but it's still hoping to pick a winner. And I just think about how we can do it. Now, just to give you an idea, that little thing I talked to you about, the 25,000, I've been doing that, or we've been doing that. We have about $1,500,000 in that account, 25,000. And what did we do? We had the guy that we picked as the winner give a speech as to how he did it, because I wanted the organization to learn something too from it. Otherwise, it's a boring thing. Okay, he's a good guy. He gave him an award. But what's he giving back to us? And we're honoring this guy to the moon. What is he giving it back to us? He's not going to tell us what he did to make his property the best, or any knickknacks or things he did. So I think that my head generates not how good a job we're doing with that, because we're doing a great job, but how we can either get some way to get that, maybe just to have him give a speech. Maybe he should be given, these guys should be given a speech somewhere, how they did it, or why they did it, or how long they, because you see, the winners of that award is not a winner of a real estate brokerage office. He's not our one. There is a society of builders, similar to the National Association of Realtors and the FIABCI of builders, and they won't let brokers join. The brokers would love to join. They won't let them in because they don't want to be bothered by the brokers. So I think that this meeting we're having here now kind of drops on the table what's going on. That's good. I think our pre-program is really good for the people that win the award. I know for some reason it's hard for our people to do it, and I've just done enough, and I didn't stop doing it because I didn't want to. I stopped doing it because I didn't want to overcrowd our people that should be doing it, and be good for them too. Because I didn't need the recognition that I got from doing that job. I didn't need that to do business. I mean, I've been in business 60 years, so my reputation was already built, and is already what it is. But for young people or for new people coming in, that's their prize. So the guy that gets the award, he gets honored. He gets a real prize. The guy that got it for him, did it for him, if he's got any brains, he can use that to be a great award for him. Now the question is, what does FIABCI get in that circle? Nothing, unless it's just recognition that we're. See, that's what this did. That's what the Wall Street Journal did. The Wall Street Journal endorsing us put a stamp on it saying this is a bona fide, legitimate operation. You can deal with it. That's what. Yeah. and that's what the Wall Street Journal did for us. Now, remember, we also had the Otis Elevator. Otis Elevator gave us $135,000 a year for these programs. So we had sources for it, but they go on and on and on. But what happened is our people weren't trained. Now I'm talking to you, Yuki, as a reward for winning these things and these articles being written in the Wall Street Journal, of advertising with them. I mean, they're doing it because they want our advertising, and we weren't rewarding them with advertising. It started to stop. But you know, when I had a winner, or I was involved with that, I would invite the Wall Street Journal for a lunch. I invited the Wall Street Journal to come to the UN meetings. So I said, we'll give you an opportunity to meet all our people. Send a good salesman, okay, and meet the people that you want to meet that you can't get in to see otherwise. And they did that for about 10 years, and then they surfaced and redid something or whatever, and their people stopped coming even though we invited them. And then our people, because they weren't coming, our people stopped inviting them. And we lost them. So you see, when we set it up, we got an advantage too at the time we set it up. And it was that advertising with the Wall Street Journal. Am I right? Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes. Wall Street Journal was a great arm for us, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And we lost. And now we're trying to get them back again. And we may, I don't know, because we can still, you know, we are capable of having a service that benefits other people. And one of them, of course, is advertising. None of the real estate guys like to talk to the newspapers to advertise. They like to talk to the real estate editor because he's a guy that they get it for nothing. But to pay for an ad, they're not excited about doing. And by inviting them to meet, they can't even meet them. So when we have a FIABCI event and we invite the reporters or the newspaper people, they want to meet the people that own those companies that they can call on the phone themselves without going through a secretary or something, because they met them at a FIABCI luncheon at the UN. They want to continue going to the UN. They enjoy going to the UN or wherever else we're going that we could take them. I don't know, I think this pre thing is great. I think it's great, but I know that we have a void, and we ought to be thinking about. And that's what I thought we were going to talk about at this meeting. Also, is what we should do, or how we can help FIABCI get some benefit from the guys that get the award. I did do it with that letter I talked to you about, because I talked about FIABCI. And I don't know how many real estate people are going to these places to play golf or whatever we give them award, whoever gets the benefit of that award. But it is a great service that we provide, and I think that all of you and all of us play an important part of the FIABCI role. I think that I was a winner from it, and that's why I keep doing it now. I mean, I have no benefit in working with FIABCI now. For me, I mean, I'm not really selling real estate anymore. I'm doing other things that do it. As I told you, I speak at universities and stuff like that. I enjoy doing that, and I think that the career that I've had in real estate was so good. I was not a wealthy young man, and through the real estate business, I became a very wealthy old man. Wealthy old. I hope a real old man. And I just feel dedicated to helping FIABCI. I gave so much time to it. I don't want to see it fail because we're overlooking something. I don't know that. Do we ever see any of the people after they get the award again? Do we ever have a luncheon inviting them? I mean, we ought to have something that we could charge them some money for for what we give them, so that the organization can survive. I'm not saying it's not surviving. I'm just saying it's difficult. It's difficult to spend the kind of money we do and reward people that cost us a lot of money, and events that cost us a lot of money, and not make any money from it. And most of them are not members to start with. We're not giving an award to someone that's a member of the organization. It's usually not a member of the organization, purposely. Anyway, I think this was a great session. I thank the office in Paris. I think you guys do a great job. It's not easy putting a bunch of real estate guys together that are all perfect.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Sheldon. I think there's many questions that are posted by the participant. I just pick one question, and then I would like to ask Mr. Joe and Hamin to answer the question. The question is, it is very difficult to organize the national award. So since Brazil have over 25 years experience, Joe, what is your advice to the local chapter, how to start their local awards? Mr. Joe?
Yeah, it is difficult to organize, but it takes time. The real estate, the master real estate in Brazil, it takes 25 years. It started in 1994, and last year was the 25th anniversary. So it takes time. You have to start very, very carefully, and you have to be more careful about the quality of the projects than the quantity of the projects. So, and year by year, it's going to evolve and getting better year after year. So, but it's a long way until to have this award consolidated, but it deserves everything.
Okay, yes, I think it's two things which are most important to establish the Prix in a country. First thing, it's all about the money. To make a Prix is expensive, to make the gala and everything. So you need sponsor. You need sponsorship, and this is the first challenge you have. And the second challenge you have is to have good developments which are looking all over the country, that everybody says, wow, this is great. And if you win these developments, then you can establish your Prix. And you need some of them to make a decision. This is important. And the other way is to make the platform, the internet, the formulas. You must have a very good jury. We have in Germany a jury with the best experts in the real estate business. And so the decision we do is highly recommended in the branch. That's the important fact. And so you can establish it.
Okay, we hope that more chapter will organize their Prix d'Excellence award in their chapter. And thank you very much for all the speakers for enlightening this section on this Prix d'Excellence. And I thank you. There's so many attendants, participants that take part in this discussion tonight. Due to time constraint, I think we need to stop here. Before we close, we will still ask the speaker to say a few words, then we will close the section. Mr. Joe, please. What is your advice?
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us this morning. For us, it's this morning, and okay. I can give a testimony, a personal testimony that is very good to win the Prix, not the Prix, but the local is our master real estate. In this 25th years, my company wins 9 times. So, and it was very, very good for us to win this award. And every year, all the company asked, and this year, what we will compete, and so this is a very nice award. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hemming. Your closing words.
Yes, I think if you join a Prix, it's at our last gala, we see the winners on the stage and they have party. They were so happy winning this award, and then you feel how important this is and what it and what it makes with the winner and with the developer, and to feel the spirit with the people, and they are dancing on the stage and they, yeah, we are winning, and this is a feeling you get. And the other thing is, if you're in the jury and you see the discussion, how long we discuss with every project before you get many pieces of paper or digital you have to read and to check and everything, and then you are discussing and you see this point and this point of the development, and you are discussing with the specialists, and this is vibrating. It's great. You must feel it. And so I can invite everybody, do it in your country. It's a big win for FIABCI and for your own business and for your personality. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Hemming. Sheldon, you got any short close message?
I'm sorry, he's talking Sheldon Good?
Yes, Sheldon Good. Yes.
Yes, I think that we should be proud of the activities of FIABCI and the things that we do for the real estate community. I think that the Prix d'Excellence is a great thing. I would like to. We got to work on making some money for us through this award, and I'm not sure how. I'll think about it in a while. But you can't believe how proud that we get for this person when we pick a Prix d'Excellence, a Hall of Fame guy. Pick up someone to be comes with his father and mother. They come with their. We get 800 people, 700 people come, and not only do we make money on the dinner, but we have this guy give a speech, and we open the door for the next one. The next one, when they come and they see this, they all want the award. But I think what you said before, the job of being a judge is a murderous job. It really is. It takes a lot of time, and if you get 8 or 10 of them, you're tied up forever. And I think that our winner, there's no question the winner gets a prize. I mean, he really gets a prize. He's picked by the real estate company organization in the world, and they pick him to say your property is the best in the world. And that's really an award. And somewhere in there, we should be able to get him to do something for us. I don't know yet what. And the other thing makes it a little difficult is things that we could do in America we can't do in Germany or in France or somewhere else because it's not accepted. So
okay.
I wish I had another 20 years, guys. I wish I had another 20 years. I'd work it out for us.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, I think this is the end of these discussions tonight. And once again, I thank the speakers, Mr. Sheldon Good of USA, Mr. Joe of Brazil, as well as Mr. Hemming of Germany for sharing their experience in this discussion. And I also thank there's about 40 over attendees that who participate in this discussion. Of course, not forgotten the technical support by the FIABCI headquarters, Alessandra and Maria. Thank you very much. And we end this section. I wish you all stay home, stay safe. Thank you very much, and good night.
Hand for you.
Thank you very much, all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you.